Okay, now we've set up the free version of MailChimp. We've created a landing page, a web page where you can send people with the core of your message, a way to interact with people, getting their information for your followers so that you can send them information. And we've created an automatic email that will be sent to any new subscribers who sign up via your MailChimp landing page. So now we want to be able to manage your users and be able to just broadcast messages to your list and maybe to portions of that list, which requires tagging and segmenting. So we're going to talk about managing your users and taking care of segments and all of that. So let me share my screen. When you log into MailChimp, it comes up with whatever its latest and greatest is here. But if you're already logged in, you'll need to drop down here, and you want to go to the dashboards, or you can just go straight to campaign. But to get to the dashboard where it gives you your stats and everything, you have to come over here to that little arrow. And okay, so now campaigns. So let's say now that we want to send an email out to your entire list. Go to campaigns. You want to have your view type to be emails. This is one that I sent out previously, but we want to go back up to the top and click on create campaign. The type of campaign we want is an email, and we don't want it automated. We want to send it out right now. So the name of the campaign, we will say, let's just say it's a follow-up to people who have signed up to this video series. And let's see, we'll just call it checking in on your MailChimp tutorial video series. And say begin. And now we get into the same email editor that we did when we set up the auto. So the from is going to be, all right, so the recipients right now is just going to be everyone. So it's going to be my whole audience, and we'll talk about tags and segment here in a minute. So the who is going to be from me. I want it to be my full name though, so just always check that. The email address is the one that I created the account with. If you want it to be another one, you can put another one in there. It will ask you to verify that. The subject line, we're going to call the subject same that I called it. The first name I gave it was just an internal name. The preview, the email, we'll give it the same information, save that, and then come down and design your email. Now this is a new email, so it's going to first ask us to select a template. Generally, I like to just keep it simple and use the plain text, simple text template. So we choose that, and then all the same stuff that we do before. And so now it's time to design your email. I like my header to basically be the same that I have on my subject line. And click this block, come over here and edit what we want to do. So this is what was in here in the template. The first thing I want to do is actually customize this. So these merge tags, it's kind of cryptic. I basically just want to say hi and then their first name. Keep it simple. And again, I recommend that you create your emails in a separate document on your computer and save it there. MailChimp's pretty good about auto-saving, but if you accidentally delete something, you're going to want to have a copy of it locally. So save that, and let's see. We go back to our template. Remember, these are in blocks. Okay, so now we've set up our email, and save and close. And we want to continue. Okay, so as this is set up right now, the to here is to our entire list. So we haven't actually told it to use a tag or a segment. Now I'll talk more about segments here in a minute. Tags, if you'll recall, when we created the landing page, I told it to add a specific tag and sign up for video series, signed up for video series. So anytime somebody signs up for the video series, they are going to get this tag. Later on, I might want to add different tags and create something based on multiple tags. For right now, let's just say we're going to send this just to people who have actually signed up for the video series via that particular landing page where that tag was automatically associated with. So let's save it. And so now we have 2 recipients that were in that list. So anytime that you want to send an email out to your list or to a portion of your list, you just send this broadcast. Now, if you want to create an automated series that goes out on a schedule like every few days, and you want that to happen automatically, you do need to use the paid version of MailChimp. So let's go ahead and send this. It reminds me, and send, and off it goes. So that should go out pretty quick if I fire up my email server and go in and checking my email. There we are. It's from me. Checking in on your MailChimp tutorial. And these are live links. And these links are live, so if we click on that, it'll return them to the video tutorial. It's always nice to give them a reminder of how to get back to your thing. And I notice I have a typo here. Ooh, damn. Now, it turns out that the link itself is okay, but this is a good reason why you always want to send a preview of your emails before you broadcast them, because this is broadcasted now. If we come back into MailChimp here and we go to campaigns, emails, you can see that this is no longer editable. And if you sent something out without doing a preview first, you can't edit it. But if you wanted to send an email out that was going to be similar to this, so in this case, I would just live with that typo, because if I click on that, the link is actually working. And so being able to send a preview to yourself and check your links and do all the things before sending it out is really important. If we did need to resend this out again, or if we wanted to create another email that was similar to this, had a similar audience, what we can do is we can come in here and we can go replicate. And when we replicate this, it's going to give it a name called copy of. So instead of the copy, we're just going to give it a slightly different name. So in this case, this would presumably be, we're going for the next email. So we might be sending something completely different. For now, I'm going to go ahead and just do a slight change in the name, checking in on your MailChimp tutorial video series. So let's just say video series. Okay, good enough. Doesn't much matter. We go save. It's created a copy of that. You can see that this is the internal name, and it's defined as a draft. And let's see, so the to is going to be the same, so we're going to leave that the same. The from is still going to be from me. The subject, we want to match the internal name, so remember that the subject sent out as part of the email is different than the internal name, or can be different. I want it, I want it to be the same, so I'm just going to come up here, copy that, put it in here, drop that in there, and save. So that was the preview text. So I'm going to come back up here, edit it, and we want to make sure that the subject and the preview text are the same. Save. And we can edit the design, come down, fix my typo, since like I said, I would probably just leave this because the typo is not important. The link itself is what is important, but just for sake of example, we'll come in here, we'll fix the typo. The link underneath, and remember that to actually associate the link with this, we come up there, we just put this anywhere in that link, click the little link there, the little chain link. That's where it's actually going to send it, which is correct. So I can say cancel because it's already okay. I've made my fix here. I might want to go make some other changes. Save, and then continue. And now to do a preview on this, I come down here and I say send a test email. So we'll send a test email, info@Heartfelt Marketing Academy, and send text. Now, if I wanted to, I could also add a personalized email if we were sending this to somebody to be proved. And if you do that, they're going to have to verify their email in MailChimp. So the first time you use a new email address, MailChimp will send a verification to that email. Now, this was the email that's associated with this account, so it knows about that email. Now, if we come back and grab email again, and I see that the one associated with Heartfelt Marketing Academy's email, and notice that it does have the test up here. It says test, and this means that this has not been broadcasted to that list yet. Come down there, proof it, check your links. So let's check that link. And is it going to go to the right place? Yeah, great, it went to the right place. We can go check the other links. It's just good to check your links. Here is the link to the video series itself. And all looks good. So if all looks good, we can come back and actually now hit send. Send now. And in just a few moments, it will send the corrected email to the list. Now, again, like I said, do your previews, make sure the email is correct, because if you have a list of 1,000 people, then it's going to go out to all 1,000 and it's going to be wrong, and you're going to be embarrassed, or you're going to be put yourself into a position. So always double check, and that's how you send emails out to your list. So let's now talk about how to create segments. All right, I mentioned tags, and let's do a quick overview of what a tag is. When we created the landing page, I told it to associate a tag, which is just a series of characters, just a couple words that you can associate it with, and you can make that up as you like. The one that we've used basically says they signed up through that landing page. And now we've had some interactions with a particular person, and we want to create a new tag to indicate that this is now a lead, not just somebody who signed up to the landing page and hasn't done anything else. So we want to first go look up that particular person. And if you come in here, go audience and view contacts. You're going to be wanting to do audience view contacts a lot, because then you get this menu of stuff right here. And manage contacts, we will get to in just a second. But here's the list of everybody in your list. And let's say that Miles at mileseddy.com has now been a prospect, is now a lead. Now, I've been playing around with this before, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete these tags. So initially, they would just have to sign up for video series. And if we want to add a new tag, we just come up here to the plus and type it in. And if it's a new tag, there's going to be an option here to add new tag. And make sure you click that, because it won't necessarily add a new tag. Now, this tag already exists, so we can just click lead, and there's your new tag. It gives us some basic stats. It gives us some information about their profile. We can come in, we can edit their information if you know where they live, or you got a phone number for them, or some other information that was not in the original sign-up form. You can go ahead and update information there. You can add a personal note and add the note, and then everything that we've had to happen with this person is now listed here. And the most important thing, though, and what I'm showing you right now is that we've now added the tag lead to this one person. If we go back to the audience of a Heartfelt Marketing Academy, we can see as before that we have one person now with a lead. So if we now want to broadcast to people who are just our leads, right? And presumably we have a whole bunch of people here, and several of them are leads. We have 3 in our entire list. We're going to want to broadcast an email to just our leads. We go campaigns. We do just what we did before. We go emails. We come up to the top here. We go create campaign, which is really just an email, and regular, and the campaign name, and begin. Remember, now this first thing is just an internal name. When we come down here, then we can create a new subject for it. And when you say edit recipients, you get the one and only audience that you'll have with your free version. And down here, we can now say leads. Okay, personalize the field, merge tags, first name, so it'll automatically add that to your lead. You come down and do all the things that we have done before. You create who it's from, and then broadcast it. Okay, so we'll just say finish later. And since we have not sent this, it'll mark it as a draft, and we have edit. Once it's sent, we can't edit it. We can view and we can replicate, or if we want to, we can just delete it and confirm, delete. So if we get a bunch of junk in there and we just want to delete, there you go, it's gone. And you can do this also with email. So if you've got really old email or you don't care about what's before, I don't think you generally want to delete old emails because the stats of who's received this email is pretty interesting and it can be very useful. So I know that 1 of 2 people actually, 50% actually opened this email, which was me in this test. A segment is just a subset of your audience, okay? So if you want to send somebody who just has a particular tag, it's got a way of doing that. If you want something a little more complicated who has multiple tags, you actually create in MailChimp what they call segments, okay? And to do that, we come back to audience and view contacts. And under the manage contacts menu, there's an option there called segments. So right now we don't have any segments, and to create a new segment, we can come up here to the create segment on the right. And the segment can be based on any number of criteria. So if you just want to send an email out to people who you've added in the last week, you can say date added, all sorts of different things, automation activity, merge fields. So if it's their birthday or if it's a particular email address. So if you want to send an email out to a particular person, you can come in here and create an email which then contains that email address. Or if you want to exclude certain people, you can say is not. But right now we're just going to stick to using tags. So we're going to say tags is a lead, all right? And we can have this drop-down list and use any of these things. So if they're a lead. Now, let's say that we had somebody go to one of my Facebook Live events and we want to tag them in MailChimp that they attended one of my events because I want to send up a follow-up email to people who have attended any of my Facebook Live events. So the way we do that is we go back into audience, and let's say we want to now tag somebody specifically. We go view contacts, and now we want to pull up somebody individually. All right, so this little guy over here, the search button, this is a great way to go look for somebody individually. So let's say we want to find Miles. Now in this case, I have Miles in a couple different ways. So Miles at mileseddy.com is kind of the one that I'm using for my test. So let's say that Miles is somebody who attended my Facebook Live. I need to add a tag, and I'm going to say attended Facebook Live. All right. And now that's been added as a new tag, attended Facebook Live. Now I can come back to Heartfelt Production, go search, find the next person, and with a longer list, this would make more sense. Okay, now let's say that we want to send an email out. We want to broadcast an email out to all people who have signed up via our landing page and have attended one of my Facebook Lives. Since that requires 2 different tags, we can't just do it the way we did it, because the way we did it will allow us to segment automatically out to people who have a particular tag. But if we need something a little bit more complicated, what we need to do is to come back and create a segment. So if we go audience and view contacts and manage contacts, we can go down to segments. So now we want to create a new segment. And first, we don't have any segments, so it tells us that. And up here on the right, create segment. So now we've got all these different criteria, but we want to come down and use tags. So if a contact is tagged having attended a Facebook Live, great, that's already there. But now we want to know that they've attended a Facebook Live and they've signed up via that sign-up sheet that we had, that landing page that we had. So we come down here and we can say, again, it's going to be a tag. Contact tag is actually in this drop-down list for our other tags. And we have a tag that is automatically added to anybody who used that landing page that I called sign up for video series. But now it's or, all right? And we don't want people who've attended a Facebook Live or signed up. We want people who have done and. Now, maybe you do want to send an email out and that's just one or the other, and you can add more here. I think with the free version, you have up to 5 tags that you 5 conditions, but we want it to be and. So we use this little drop down list over here and we go all of these. So all of the tags and tag this. So they have to have both tags. And when we do that, and we preview our segment, you'll notice there's one person. If we go back and edit this guy, which is right here, and we change this back to any, instead of, and preview, instead of just one, now we have 2. So one person has the attended a Facebook Live and another person has the tag sign up for video series, which the other one does too, but now it's any. But now we want to go back to and, so we just go back, we switch this back to all those, preview segment, and now you have to specifically save it. If we move off this page, it won't automatically save this. So save segment, and it gives you what the conditions in this segment are. So I want it to be here. I just want to copy that, and I'll say tagged and I'll come down here, copy and paste that, and save. So now we have a segment that has just a list of people who have both these tags. Now we can go back to campaigns and emails, and I need to scroll back up to create campaign, say email campaign. I'm going to copy that into the clipboard because generally I will also make the subject line the same as what I call it internally. So here I click subject. I'd send the from as me. Always like to double check that because I like my full name in there. And most importantly, to. And right now it's the whole audience of 3 recipients. That's the entire list. That's the whole Heartfelt Marketing Academy list. Remember, there's only one audience. If we want to have it be a specific tag, we use that down here. But now, lo and behold, under segments, we've got a name segment. This is what we just created. I generally like to put that in there with the first name, save my audience, and now you will see there is just one recipient. Then the rest of this is just what we did before. We come up, we say send. We say preview, we finish this out, we go preview, we send it to ourselves, we double check it, we check our links, we come back here, and then we hit send. And since this is a test, I'm just going to go finish later. Okay, so there you go. Now we have MailChimp all set up to be able to send people to a landing page, have them sign up for information, get their email, be able to automatically send a email out when they sign up. And now we know how to broadcast to an entire list of people or people who have just specific tags and maybe just the tag that we created. We know how to create a segment that can have multiple conditions, either multiple tags, all of them or just any of a particular tag. Other conditions that you can play with, like the date they signed up or since the date, all sorts of different things. Create segments, be able to send out to segments. As you grow, you're going to integrate other products with this. Zoom being a real common one. If you have Zoom meetings, you want to be able to talk to people in a group. There are ways to export the people who sign up for your Zoom meetings and import them into MailChimp. When you do that, you can assign a new tag that they have attended a particular Zoom meeting for you, and then create segments in MailChimp later. Other series that will be coming up later are being able to link with a calendar system. So you might want to send an email to people inviting them to sign up for a strategy session or just a call to talk about your message, just whatever it is that you want to be able to do with them. I hope you found this really useful. I hope you will take advantage of this to get your message out there, because the hardest part about doing this as a creative, as an intuitive, is to be able to get started and to feel like we have a way to send, a place to send people to, and start collecting and building our following without having to spend a whole lot of money month to month, because this is one of the biggest mistakes you can do. You can order tools like Kajabi, who doesn't have a free version. It can do everything that we talked about and much more. And there are times that you need the features of something like Kajabi. I'm using Kajabi because I have digital products and I host that on Kajabi and have everything linked in. And I think you'll find out is as you start adding in the different kinds of components that you need, that it's all going to add up to something that's going to be pretty expensive. And Kajabi is pretty nice because for one flat fee, I get all of these features in there. But this will get you started and not having to think about all of this other stuff. Now, being able to set all this stuff up, I mean, yeah, you can go learn how to do all of this and you can step by step go be able to do it. But chances are that you're not in the business of learning technology. You're in the business of wanting to get your message out there. You're in the business of wanting to do the things that it takes to actually get your following growing and your mailing list growing. And if you find that this is still challenging to you or just not what you want to be doing, I have a group coaching session that is available for a small fee to be able to get some group help, to be able to get into a group Zoom call and be able to ask me directly how to do things. So my email address is miles@aheartfeltproduction.com. Or if you'd like to reach out to me and learn more about what I'm doing and what I can do to help you get your message out there, my phone number is 812-361-0067. And I wish you all the success in the world. And most importantly, I just want to encourage you to just do it. Just get out there, put your initial message out there, start getting people signed up for this, and then you can learn everything else as you go. But having the starting point is the most important thing, because so many of us feel like we can't get started because we don't know the technology. We can't get started because we don't know what our message is. Well, MailChimp, the free version of MailChimp, will allow you to get started. So if you got through everything in that series, you are on your way. So go out there, get your message out there, and I will see you in the next series.